Trade rumors are here, Dub Nation. Anthony Davis to Golden State. That's what we're going to talk about on today's show. As we've been hearing a bunch of rumors about the Golden State Warriors potentially targeting a center here ahead of the trade deadline. 15 days out from Jonathan Kuminga's trade restriction being lifted. So we're going to get into these AD trade rumors on today's show. Multiple reports from NBA insiders. Before we get to that, though, make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we are almost at our next milestone of 101.5K. Okay, 101.5 thousand subscribers. We need 149 more members of Dub Nation to go down below and hit that subscribe button because when you do, you get free Warriors content all the time. We go live for tons of Warriors games. The number one place for Warriors content on YouTube is right here at Warriors Today. All right, let's talk about it, man, because Anthony Davis trade rumors to Golden State, that seems wild, right? Like a guy who makes $54 million. Does Golden State really have the means to make a trade like that, especially for a guy like Davis who is often injured? I mean, he's injured right now. He got hurt in the Christmas Day game against Golden State, but Chris Haynes says it's a possibility. Here's what he had to say. He said, I came on last week and I told you about what the Warriors are looking for. A big man, a running big man, protect the paint, lob threat. I was told they are contemplating making a case to acquire Anthony Davis as well. For a Warriors team that has Steph at age 37, Jimmy Butler at age 36, Draymond at age 35, guys who are often missing games, Al Horford at age 40, who can't even play both nights of a back-to-back. Did they not watch Anthony Davis go out and get hurt and leave with an injury on Christmas? Like, come on, man. Like, this is a guy who is on the shelf more than he's on the court, and for a Warriors team that has those same issues, why would you want to bring a guy in like Davis into this mess and just create more nonsense on the injury front for Golden State? Now, Chris Haynes had more to say about Dallas's perspective on this Anthony Davis stuff, and it's pretty interesting. Here's what he had. He said, and so with that being said, I was told Dallas is not that fascinated with what Golden State has on its books, and so if the Golden State Warriors did really want to make a true play at Anthony Davis, they would likely have to acquire some more assets or involve another team. Okay, so what this tells me is that the Dallas Mavericks have really no interest in acquiring one Jimmy Butler. Now, would I even think about trading Jimmy Butler for Anthony Davis? We'll talk about that more later, but I lean no. The Mavs, though, AD and Jimmy Butler make the same amount of money. So if they were interested in bringing Butler in, they could just do a one-for-one swap. Who's to say if Golden State would think about that or not? But if the Mavs wanted Jimmy Butler, this quote or this part of the quote wouldn't have been coming out from Chris Haynes there. So I guess they don't want to add Jimmy Butler, but there is another way to get this done. Although I want to give you guys this quote first because this has been double confirmed by Mark Stein of the Stein Line. Here's what he had to say on the situation. He said, the Warriors have held a long-standing fondness for Davis, and I'm told that they have indeed had some internal discussions about pursuing him, but they do not appear to be actively doing so six-ish weeks out from the deadline. I'm likewise told that Davis's contract, with potentially 2 years still left on it, and the 32-year-old exercises his $62.7 million player option in 27-28, and the injury woes he has endured since becoming a Maverick have thrust a measure of pause into Golden State's deliberations. I mean, yeah, I would hope so. The best possibility, the best route the Warriors could take to try to win a championship, to try to compete in the Western Conference, is not making a trade for Anthony Davis. And a Jimmy Butler and Anthony Davis swap specifically makes no sense for either side. If the Mavs' idea of trading Anthony Davis away, it's going to be pick-centered, right? Like it's going to be wanting first-round draft selections, assets that can help them build around Cooper Flagg. Not a 37-year-old Jimmy Butler that's just going to try to win more games, get them closer to the play-in than the top of the lottery, which probably they want to be at the end of this season because they're probably not going to make the playoffs. So a Jimmy Butler AD swap makes no sense. But there is another way for Golden State to go out and make a trade for Anthony Davis. Here is what a framework could look like. Don't get too harped up on what the Warriors are sending out here in the prospect of it going to Dallas, because not all these assets would be going to Dallas. What would be going to the Mavericks, though, would be first-round draft selections. I don't have that in here, but the Warriors would almost certainly be sending this year's first-round pick unprotected. They would also be sending out Draymond Green, Jonathan Kuminga, and then one of Moses Moody or Buddy Hield. This is just how the money has to work at the end of the day, and when you consider Buddy Hield hasn't been really in the rotation much for Steve Kerr, plus Jonathan Kuminga is completely excommunicated from Kerr's lineup. Draymond Green slipping at this point. Some are calling him wash. He just got in a fight with Steve Kerr. There is a possibility that they could trade him. I don't know who's going to want Draymond Green, though. That's kind of the issue with this deal. And he certainly wouldn't be going to Dallas in this scenario. I could see maybe Kuminga going to Dallas, but I don't think that they want him. Again, that second half of the Chris Haynes quote tells me that they're probably not that interested in Kuminga either. So what you would probably need to find, if Moses Moody was somebody who was wanted by Dallas and he ended up going there, or Buddy Hield the same way, they would have to go out there and find another team. They'd have to go out and find another partner to get an additional asset to then flip to Dallas. And specifically, you have to find somebody who would send a first-round pick for Jonathan Kuminga. And how likely is that? I don't know. I mean, the Kings have been interested. They floated a first-round pick, but it had some heavy protections on it. Would they lift those protections now with what they know? I'm not so sure. So that's going to be something that's difficult to find. But if this is something that the Warriors want to do, that's an avenue that they're going to have to go down. Draymond would have to find another home, too. Like, he's not going to go to Dallas. I don't think that they would buy him out for as much as he's making at this point. So, again, he'd have to probably be going to a third or fourth team in this trade. Remember when the Warriors made a deal for Jimmy Butler? Like, there were 4 teams involved in that. I mean, maybe there was even 5, I forget. But it was like 16 players getting moved around, so many picks. And this is how trades work in today's NBA. So Draymond, in this scenario, would have to find another home because, look, what's Dallas going to want from Draymond Green here? Like, it's a weird situation. He's not playing at the level that he probably should be this season. It's interesting. Like, he's still a good passer, but his hot-headedness is kind of boiling over at this point, and the walkout to the locker room wasn't great either. So what Golden State needs more than an Anthony Davis is somebody younger, somebody more durable than AD here. So I wouldn't go after a guy who the lower body injuries are stacking up. The back injuries have been there before. Like, he's just not somebody who's going to win a championship with the Golden State Warriors, especially if you lose as many assets as you would be sending away there. There's no guarantee that he'd be out there on the floor, and then Steph would be completely left on an island with Jimmy over there. So I'm not really in on this situation. What do you guys think? Should the Warriors trade for Anthony Davis? Comment down below for me. T for trade, P for pass. You'd have to send out multiple picks as well as Draymond Green, Jonathan Kuminga, and then one of Moses Moody or Buddy Hield to bring AD to town. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. Coming up next, finally, the Warriors got some good news in Monday night's game against the Brooklyn Nets. We'll talk about that in just a moment. First, though, I got to tell you guys about a brand new sponsor on the channel, and that is a great budgeting app called Rocket Money. Got something really awesome to show Dub Nation here as a new sponsor is joining Warriors today. Shout out to Rocket Money. Ever feel like your money just disappears each month? It's easier than ever to overspend. From subscriptions piling up, to impulse buys after seeing an ad on your phone, to ordering takeout a few times a month. Rocket Money helps you rein it in by showing you where your money is going and helping you make better decisions so you can keep more money in your pocket. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money shows you all your expenses in one place, including subscriptions you forgot about. If you see a subscription you no longer want, Rocket Money will help you cancel it in just a few taps. If you've got a goal you'd like to save for, Rocket Money can analyze your accounts to find the best time each month to put extra money aside. Rocket Money has saved users over $2.5 billion, with including over $880 million in canceled subscriptions alone. Their 10 million members save up to $740 a year when they use all of the app's premium features. So cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/warriorschat today. That's rocketmoney.com/warriorschat. rocketmoney.com/warriorschat. Warriors had a big win. I know it's the Brooklyn Nets, but this is a Brooklyn Nets team that won 7 of their previous 10 games. 7-3 in the month of December. Impressive to go into somebody's house on the second night of a back-to-back while they're playing better basketball than you, all things considered, over the last 10-game stretch, and you go out there and take a win. And specifically, claw back from a 28-13 deficit early on in this game. The Nets came out firing, shooting like 60% from 3 in the first quarter. Michael Porter Jr. was unconscious. Igor Dioman was unconscious as well. I mean, everybody was knocking down three-point jumpers for this Brooklyn Nets team, and the Warriors weren't. I mean, they didn't even get up to a solid mark. They shot 10 of 33 from long range, and things weren't going well for them in that regard. But they kept things clean. They ended up forcing a bunch of turnovers in the second half and just really playing sound defense and getting the Nets to miss enough shots to get a comfortable win here. And I want to talk about Steph's performance. Not really statistically. I thought he was fine, 27 points. He had 5 assists, 2 turnovers, so he wasn't coughing it up too much. He did have a weird stretch where he sat in this game for the final 7 minutes of the first half, with it being the second night of a back-to-back, and the Warriors were able to claw back in the game. Kind of nice job, nice gamble there by Steve Kerr. But the real thing I want to talk about with Steph in this game, how many times did we see him with a continuation foul and one, and the refs call it on the floor? I think it was legitimately 3 times, and they finally gave him the fourth one. This guy has the worst whistle I've ever seen. It's year 16, for God's sakes, and this guy can't get a simple call that every other superstar in basketball is getting. SGA, Jalen Brunson, all these guys get these continuation fouls 4 or 5 times a game, and Steph is getting mauled out there. He was visibly upset with the officials in this game, and I don't blame him, man. Like, this guy needs to be officiated at least fairly. I'm not even asking for him to get all the superstar calls in the world, because he doesn't even foul bait. He knows when guys are hacking him, he's going to throw up a shot, and he just doesn't get rewarded with shots at the line. It's brutal. Too many baskets were taken off the board for Steph last night, and that was frustrating to see. Jimmy was awesome. I speak to that 28-13 deficit that Golden State faced. Jimmy was on the court with like 4 other reserve players. It was like when he was playing with the Timberwolves third stringers back in practice, and he was whooping up on Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins and the first teamers back in the day. Because that's what happened, man. He took, I think it was like Quinn Post, and I think Pat Spencer was on the floor, like D'Anthony Melton and Guy Santos, and it was something along the lines of that lineup. Maybe it was TJD instead of Post, who played really well as well. We'll get to him in a second. But Jimmy clawed back. He took them all the way back. I think he cut the deficit to like 1 at the end of the first quarter. It was awesome to see him kind of take that leadership there. He didn't turn the ball over either, like he did multiple times against Toronto a couple days ago. So that was good to see. Nice bounce back performance there from Jimmy Butler. D'Anthony Melton, shout out to him, man. 10 points in this one. He's coming along. The 3-point shot's not there yet. He's like 1 for his last 20 from 3-point range. But the defense was awesome last night. He was really active, moving the basketball. Just moves really well. He had 8 rebounds in this game. So loved what I saw from Melton, and he's only going to get better and more comfortable as the season goes along. I spoke to TJD. He was great in this game. Maybe one of the better games I've ever seen Trayce Jackson-Davis play, with Quentin Post kind of playing soft and scared for the most part. He was getting called for a couple ticky-tack fouls. He was kind of taken out of the lineup, and TJD was inserted there. Imposed his will, man. 6 rebounds in this game, 11 points, all really off dunks around the rim. But I thought he was great. He had 2 steals, 2 blocks as well. Awesome stuff from TJD. He's making me eat my words when I said he wasn't an NBA player a couple of months ago. Will Richard, solid. Made a couple of great energy plays in the second half that kind of turned the tide for Golden State. Forced a couple of live ball turnovers, got out in transition. Just good stuff. Classic Will Richard, what we've come to know him to be in this rookie season. Full of energy, going to hit the outside shot sometimes when he gets the opportunity. And he was pretty good moving the ball as well yesterday. 3 assists for the rookie. Draymond, it wasn't great in this game. Too many times I saw him passing up open layups for shots in the corner to guys who just weren't hitting jump shots in this game. The Warriors weren't shooting a high percentage from 3-point range, and Draymond was a culprit as well as many other guys were of passing up too many open shots around the rim. So that was something that I didn't like, but Draymond is Draymond. He's not much I can say about his performances that change game to game. Moses Moody, he may have lost a spot in the starting lineup, though, after this game. He was a -15. He was not good. 1 for 8 from the field. He's just a hot and cold player, man. He goes through these stretches during the season that'll get him taken out of the starting lineup and reduced to a very minor role in this rotation. And this is one of those games that signals that maybe he's not going to play as much next time around. This Warriors starting lineup could be changing once again. And specifically during some matchups, I'm sure that Quentin Post could be taken out of the starting lineup as well. He was not good in this game. Against teams that have strong, physical, athletic centers who can move, like Nick Claxton can handle the rock. He can bring the ball up. He's athletic. He can run around. And those guys really cause problems for Quentin Post. So not the best effort from him there. Finally nailed a 3. That seems not something that has been going down too consistently as of late, but just couldn't really stay on the floor in this matchup too much. It was a good game overall, though. Thought the Warriors did some really good things. Hopefully they can carry it over into the next game. We will be live for Wednesday's matchup. It is a 10 a.m. West Coast time tip-off between the Hornets and the Warriors on New Year's Eve. So we'll be live for that. Let me know if you're going to join us down in the comment section. Let me know if you believe the Warriors can be a top 6 seed. That's our question that we're going to leave you with before we get out of here on today's show. Type B for believe, type D for don't. The Warriors are like 3 or 4 games out of the 6th seed at this point. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are down in the comment sections. That will do it for today's show. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, youtube.com/WarriorsTV, for the latest and greatest on your Dubs all season long. We'll see you guys next time. And as always, let's go Dubs.